Welcome to the Bad Reading Podcast.
That is a terrible Batman.
I know. I'm sorry.
Is that what was going on there? I thought you were like ill. I was getting a little confused.
I'm Chris Hetlinger, one of your hosts. We also have He Wants to Live in Perpetual Winter.
Hey, I like winter. I'm Atlas Novak.
And today we got you were the former host of the New Orleans The Hump, and you are going to start streaming a game show called This or That.
That's true. Charles Lewis, hello.
Hello. He's also been a former
Hi.
DM of mine and co-player at D&D. Some of the most entertaining characters I've ever played with.
That's all true. So let me know if you're looking for a DM or a player. Always available.
What's life like living with two first names?
Yeah. In fact, so it's Charles Matthew Lewis. So I will probably be a serial killer at some point. I mean, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for my time to shine. I'm looking for my opportunity. I know.
Wow,
a young white man being Charles Matthew Lewis. I'm just hold on to that knife every day.
You even have John Wayne Gacy beat, and he's got two of three first names.
I know my destiny. So I'm just holding out, just trying to be a nice guy till then.
So everyone will be
so
like,
everyone can say,
I never would have guessed.
I never would have guessed he was such a nice guy.
I think it's great that this episode is coming out the week after we did Psycho.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like from a story Psycho to a real Psycho.
To an actual Psycho. Yeah. Here he is, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now I just want to talk all about the dungeon that we did where you had the Archipelago campaign. Oh, my God. It was so much fun.
Talk about Psycho. Psycho Dungeon.
Psycho Dungeon. It was great. Anyway, here on the Bad Reading Podcast, we like to ask, what are you into?
Yeah, well, I'm into a lot. If you were on a date, I would say I'm into whatever you're into is my fetish. But we're not talking about that.
He did it.
I know.
He did the thing.
You're welcome, everybody.
Well, not that. Just I've waited for a guest to just take it and run with it and go, I'm into, some wacky shit. But no one ever does, and he finally did it. My life is complete. I'm done here. Goodbye, everybody. No.
Thankfully, my geek vibes are also my kind of sexual vibes. I think my first sexual moment was watching the parade for Lion King at Disneyland, and I realized then I was a Furby or a little furry guy. But anyway, no. What I'm into geek wise is the '90s stuff, like late '80s, early '90s, pretty much fill in the gap. Gargoyles cartoon, Batman comics. Cartoon, and pretty much if you existed between 1988 and 1998, I'm probably into you.
Perfect. So we found a Batman fic for you, and
it's not from the Our Terrible Writings episode where I was doing Batman and Bane kicking up a friendship. That's different.
No, this one is this one's kind of a mix between they did a crossover between the 90s cartoon and some of the comic book stuff. So
okay. Oh, he's into it.
I'm super into it.
Okay, fine. Perfect. And some of the tags are power dynamics, costume kink, light masochism, Dick Grayson is Batman, Dick Grayson is also Nightwing, daddy issues, beta power play, anal play, oral sex, clawing, bisexuality, bisexual male character, bisexual female character, scratching, anal fingering, light dom sub, happy sex, and daddy kink.
Usually,
you had me at costume kink, which was literally the second one of that theory.
Right?
Very long list, so we're good.
Is costume kink just you dress up and whatever, and then?
Yes.
See, if we think about the '90s Batman animated series, Catwoman, the way she dressed was like the original furry.
Yeah.
And there was this episode where Batman becomes a cat person.
Oh yeah.
It's the whole thing, and it's very sexual. But they're actual animal people.
Nothing wrong with being a cat person, but I think your version of a cat person and my version of a cat person are different cat people.
I don't know. She actually becomes an anthropomorphic cat person that some mad scientist captures for his experiment.
Oh,
it's very Island of Dr. Moreau. I think you're thinking of a person who's has cats.
Yes, exactly. Shout out to my mom's cat, Sophie. I'm sorry I had to give you your flea medicine that one time. You weren't happy with me, but I love you all the same.
And so, funny enough, I hate cat people. in that way.
Fine, fuck you too, I guess.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I have a dog here.
Yes, Scruff is just passed out in your lap right there.
He's been super lappy today. Okay, so let's see. We got this, and it's by Star City Rebels. It's from Archive of Our Own, and the title is called Fucking About Batman.
Oh, they're not messing around.
No.
Okay.
Straight to it.
So
you saw the number of titles that was attached to this. There was a lot of kinks attached to this.
They could have just called this Much Ado About Fucking, and it would have been
write it down.
My 11th grade drama teacher, Ms. Porter, is probably proud of me for that one. Shout out to her. Yes.
That actually would be a very fitting title for this. I have read the whole thing.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's do it.
The summary is Dick Grayson is Batman! ! That's a good thing because Batman is the only man that Catwoman takes to bed. A story about Dick and Selina getting off on Dick's daddy issues, also identity porn.
There's a lot going on in the summary of this, but okay, here we go.
For the people who have been waiting around since our Incredibles episode, this very well may be your chance. So
that was so much worse.
It was?
Yes.
Oh, good. All right.
At least these are two like consenting adult humans who are not related to each other.
Yep. Cool. Vomit.
All right, so let's start it off. Dick supposes he's been fucking about things since the very first time he had sex. If people can talk about something, cry about something, laugh about something, then surely they can also fuck about something. He's not sure exactly what he's fucking about. Maybe with Barbara it was about being young, being the only person who could understand what they were doing out there. The first kid heroes, out in the streets with Batman. Maybe that's why even though he loves her forever, it didn't last. At least not like that. The way they began it with just the two of them. With Corey, it could be about growing up and decided he could be free. That it was okay to have fun and feel good. That you don't have to care about the past all the time. They were fucking about being something new. How can the first time you have sex with an alien space princess be anything but an exploration?
Can you be what is fucking about something? Is that like the thing you think of when you fuck who you fuck to fuck better? Is that?
Well, let's get farther into the fic and we'll show you what fucking about something is.
No, but
they define it. Okay, I'm looking forward to that because I had a lot of questions about what that sentence means as well.
Yeah, fucking about something. That sounds like something in like an anime where it like takes place in like a porn studio, and they're like, you have to fuck about something. I'm here to fuck about something, because it's like the like who do you fight for? But it's about fucking instead.
I'm sure they probably do tell that to like porn stars. They're like, here's your motivation.
Do they? I thought the motivation was come on second 37.
No.
Or whatever.
They give you motivations and like direction and everything.
Oh wow.
How do I know this? You may never find out.
What?
Let's see. And then there was fucking Jason, all grown up and back from the dead. That was fucking about the thing he least expected on a lot of levels. He'd probably have to ask Jason what it was about in the end. And he doubts it would be an answer he'd want to hear, even though he still loves him. Whether either of them wants to or not. It was sort of the opposite of sex with Roy. I don't know who Roy is.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Jason was
Jason Todd, another Robin.
Todd, yeah,
who died.
Another Robin.
Right?
Who died in...
Yeah, it became back as the Red Hood. Classic. Yep. No one ever dies. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So...
So wait, Roy, I feel like is the younger Green Arrow, the Red Arrow?
I think so, yeah. I think that's who it is.
Roy Harper. One of most DC's long-standing characters, originating in the 1940 comics, is Speedy, the teen sidekick of the superhero Green Arrow.
There you go.
And he took Smack. I know, Speedy.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he died of a heroin overdose in the 80s.
In the 80s, of course he did. I mean, like,
I know.
And yes, he is the Red Arrow on Wikipedia. That's the picture you get.
Interesting. Okay, well, I guess that was to teach children who were reading comics not to do heroin.
Don't do smack.
Didn't teach anyone not to do smack, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's not the right way to go about
it. It just traumatized a bunch of kids.
Yes.
I just imagine somebody, there has to be at least one who's like, you know what? Not today.
I want to know. I want to know that person's story, actually. Yeah.
Otherwise, it was a complete failure.
Please comment if you were one of the people.
Please comment if you did not do heroin because of that traumatizing comic book story.
Okay. That came as no surprise, at least not in retrospect. It was a natural extension of two young and horny teenage boys being teenage boys, new in their bodies. They never did say it, but it was also certainly about love. Dick doesn't regret any of them, not even Jason. He also doesn't regret all the times he slept with other people they were really only fucking about fucking. It might seem like fucking Selena Kyle, Catwoman, would be fucking about a childhood fantasy.
Okay, if there's a drinking game where every time you take a drink, every time someone says fucking, you're dead of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, at this point, you've already had 2 bottles of wine and you're dead. Yeah. Exactly.
About the hot older femme fatale everyone wants to get with, but knows they never can until the day they finally do. But that's not accurate. That's not what happened at all. Dun, dun, dun. She had shown up unannounced in Bloodhaven.
That's how you pronounce that?
Bloodhaven?
I was going to say Bloodhaven.
No. It is Bloodhaven, I believe. But yes, it is definitely spelled like a ancient German city, for sure.
B-L umlauted U-D-H-A-V-E-N.
Yeah.
That sounds like it'd be Bloodhaven, but...
It's Bloodhaven.
Bloodhaven, all right.
Definitely a D&D city, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm going to use that in the next campaign that I run.
Oh, you're going to call it Bloodhaven?
Bloodhaven.
Do it, man.
I will. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the campaign that I'm starting to write, but Bruce hadn't known a thing, probably because he just come back from the dead and was only getting back to his life again. He only found Selena through his... Scruffles, can I help you? All right. He only found Selena through his weirdest contacts, and even that was a stretch to achieve. To be honest, she'd never been a criminal, in quotes, worth chasing. Who does she really hurt? Only the people who can afford to lose their jewels. Jewels that are insured. Jewels that are mined by enslaved people a world away. Leave it for the cops. Dick's not there to comfort the comfortable.
Defund the police, hashtag. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
I do love that Selena Kyle is like a Robin Hood type. She's always
does
been
does she give to the poor though? I know she steals from the rich, but I think it stops there.
That's true. I mean, she gives a lot of money to like environmental charities and stuff though.
I thought it was is she like a Poison Ivy type? I don't know that much.
I do know the Poison Ivy definitely does that, but I think Selena Kyle was, at least in one of the episodes, I think that she was talking about, like, she held, like, a fundraiser or something.
Yeah. I think that's how she fell into that weird Dr. Monroe situation in the 90s. Yeah, you're right.
Wait,
yeah.
Okay, so if you're stealing, like, jewels, how do you donate that to charity? You're like, yes, I would like to donate. How will you be giving your donation? I have this giant... Chaos Emerald looking diamonds, would that work?
Yes. I obviously stole this. Do you have a fence? Is that on the charity board? I'd like to know.
Yeah, is there like a giant machine that I could stick this into that can power a cannon to blow up the earth? Is that... Why am I making Sonic Adventure 2 references right now? I don't know. It was a good game.
I've never played it.
It's pretty good.
I've always been terrible at video games, which is part of why bad playing is a fun thing to watch. All right, so let's see. Part of him studies sociology and psychology wonders... Wait, what?
The part of him that studies...
The part of... I'm sorry, I missed the first word in that sentence. The part of him that studies sociology and psychology wonders if Bruce's usual pursuit of Selena is a continuing digression because Bruce wants an excuse to spend some time with her. Maybe foiling her heist was the only excuse Bruce could think of to justify contact with her. Dick doesn't think it needs to be that way. He's not visiting her to push her for information about whatever ridiculous heist she might have set up. He's here to prove a point. That no one can show up in his adopted town without him knowing. Is there something big that's going to happen in a city? Maybe something that could hurt real people? Oh, okay. Apparently rich people are not real people to him. Thank you, Dick Grayson.
To be fair, let's eat the rich.
Yeah,
hashtag eat the rich. Let's go back to another fun hashtag that's going around right now.
Aerosmith had the right idea.
They did.
That's my favorite song of theirs because they were rich by that point, I think.
Yes, they were. Most definitely.
Yeah, when was that? Get a Grip.
as you do Google foo.
Yes, continue, sorry.
Okay.
1993, yeah, they were rich by then.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
Well, I mean, like, they knew what it was like to not be rich, though.
Sure.
But they also knew what it's like to be super rich.
Please let the rest of us know what it's like. So that night he makes it his way to her new safe house. To be honest, it seems more of an Airbnb apartment. One of those fancy lofts that spectators just pretend is a normal apartment, but is really just an unlicensed hotel trying to dodge paying hotel taxes.
Wow, this story is like super for the proletariat, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a city starved for tax dollars to support services for the poor, that actually feels...
Good work, comrade.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot embedded in this story. Keep it going. I'm into
Me
it.
too. But that's more of the kind of theft Oliver Queen would deal with. Not really the kind that Bruce ever thought about, and not Dick's specialty. He debated whether he should just walk up, knock on her door in street clothes, and introduce himself. Pretend they were two normal people. Make it immediately clear that he was not there to threaten her as Batman, and deliberately avoid risking anyone seeing them looking or acting like capes. But then, where's the fun in that? So he waits till long after dark and puts on the costume, his Batman costume, all gray and black. Bruce may be back, but Dick is not going to stop being Batman. He sees her sitting in her window, petting a sleek, small, jet black cat.
Kitty.
I love Isis. Like, I love that she had a familiar, and it's great. That was one of my favorite things about, like, when I was watching it as a kid, I was just like, I want to be Catwoman because I get to have a familiar with me all the time.
You mean like you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally like your life is happening at this moment.
Yes. Yeah. I grew into my childhood fantasy, except my familiar is a derpy dog instead of a very sleek black cat.
Every time I hear the word familiar, I just think of that Patton Oswalt bit where he's opening for a comedy magician who gets shorted $5, and he just does this angry display of magic with zero comedy. And he's like, all right, I have a ball. Now it's 2 balls. Now it's 3. Now it's 1 again. Okay, bram. And then he's like, I thought to piss off a warlock, you had to burn down his village or kill his familiar. What do you do instead? Steal $5 from him, and he will unleash a thorny doom from beneath the crust of the earth.
That would be a fun character to play. Like a disgruntled performer.
Oh, a disgruntled comedy magician? Definitely. Yes. No, it's from, what album is that?
He makes his warlock deal because he's angry that someone stole $5 from his like hat.
It sounds like all of Los Angeles. I don't know what you're talking about.
Much. It's what's it called? My Weakness is Strong. That's the album that's from. It's a good one.
If you had a familiar of your choice, Charles, what would it be? Any animal.
Gecko, for sure. I mean, they have those fun eyes and those fun paws, you know.
Which type of gecko?
You keep trying to get me to get a gecko.
I do. I keep trying to get him to adopt a crested gecko because they're super docile and real nice, and like he needs a friend.
Yeah.
I do need.
So I don't know that much about the subtypes of geckos. I know that geckos have like traditionally, you know, big eyes and big old hands. But yeah, if you're the most docile, if that's what you suggest.
Crested geckos, they have like they're also called eyelash geckos because they look like they have little eyelashes. But
oh, I'm in. A gecko with eyelashes? How did I not know about this gecko?
They also look kind of like dragons because not only do they have eyelashes, but they kind of have like little spikes on their neck. But they're like soft spikes, so you can pet them. And if you if you handle them a lot when they're little, they're super super nice. So I have one. Her name. Well, all right. Well, I thought it was a girl.
I'm gonna make a deal with Satan and get one maybe tonight. I don't know. I got some time.
You got some time. I know you're on the East Coast, so you got a little bit less time than we do.
When Aki was smaller, I tried to get her to ride on my shoulder. She was not into it.
Dude, she's a dog.
But I mean, she was tiny when she was little. I thought she'd be into it. She
That's
wasn't.
true. I mean, like...
it's not like I picked her up and dropped her. It would be like sitting down, put her here, and then she just kind of slides off onto my knee. It just didn't work.
That sounds like Aki. Yeah. Aki is a weenie dog.
Yeah, she's a dachshund.
I mean, it's like the farmers who say that like they started picking up a cow when it was young, and then they could pick it up when it was an adult. If you just keep doing that, as a pup, then you have a full like Saint Bernard on your shoulder.
Oh, I mean,
she's that logically works out, right?
She's a lot more okay being picked up now than she was back then. But just I couldn't get her to like do the just stay here. But
Scruffles actually really did like to sit on my shoulder when he was little, and then he got too big for it.
Oh.
So
That's sad.
He's like almost 17 pounds now, so he doesn't fit on my shoulders anymore.
Bummer.
Well, it sounds like a problem with your shoulders.
Yeah, it does. And my shoulders need to be much more buff. Got to go do that Bane workout.
Oh, with the what's that drug called that he takes?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
X or skull. It's something like really scary. It's like death or X or skull or something.
I think it is like it's something that sounds fatal.
Google Flu's on it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Venom.
It's called Venom.
Venom! I knew it was something scary. Yes.
Venom, a drug that kills nearly all of its subjects, ends up giving Bane superhuman-like strength.
Got to get on that stuff.
Yeah.
So then Scruffles can be my shoulder dog.
Yeah, what doctor do I need to see? You got the prescription for that.
Need a prescription for some Venom?
Dude, imagine Gotham City's like shitty daytime TV advertisements.
Ask your doctor if Venom is right for you. Side effects,
right.
man.
Side effects might include death, total insanity, growing so big that you explode. I don't know how you die. It's insane.
Has your entire apartment block been had its temperature lowered to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit? You may be a victim of Mr. Freeze. Call now. You know, you may be entitled to compensation.
Have to laugh and smile for the rest of their life until they died. You may be a victim of the Joker.
And then it's just Two-Face doing those ads because of course he would.
Oh yeah, because he's a lawyer.
Wait, I want to see this whole world. I want 12 seasons of this show that you're describing right now.
Oh my god.
So instead of Better Call Saul, it's like Better Send for Dent or something like that.
Yes, Better Send for Dent. All right, I'm in. All right.
Oh my god, yes.
I need to start. I'm gonna start keeping track of these, and maybe we can like start doing little sketches on the YouTube channel where it's like,
Better Send for Dead. All right.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
He does a flip from the roof down to her fire escape and swings his legs up to her window. She leans over immediately pulls him into an embrace. She then looks up with recognition and giggles. "Oh, you had me going there. I thought you were the big bat. You know, the real one." She says it teasingly with her arm still wrapped around him. She deftly pulls him into the room through her window, and only then does she let go of his waist, spin him around, and dims the lights. "Well, I am Batman. Once the title is yours, it's not something you can give back. I graduated into it. It's mine now. Two Batman are better than one."
Wait. Well, I am Batman.
There you go. This is Robin, though.
I know, but don't they all put on the shit? I'm Batman.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, they all do the fake Batman voice. So yeah, that was probably pretty accurate. Yeah.
Continue.
Once the title is yours, it's not something you can give back. I graduated into it. It's mine now. Two Batmen are better than one.
He smiles. "Well, I can see it suits you, Batman," she says with a wink.
"You look great,"
Dick says. The buttons of her sheer black chiffon blouse are open to a non-office appropriate depth, and her black satiny trousers reflect the dim light. He watches her lean legs through them, elegant without trying too hard. He hasn't seen her out of costume for a long while, but even in her casual clothes, she looks cat-like, languid and sexy in the way that no one else can master. "I'm laying low, and in case you were wondering, no, I don't have some big heist in the works here." She makes air quotes with her fingers and then raises them to each side of her head like bat ears. "I'm actually here for personal reasons, and no, I'm not going to tell you them, but that's only because you really don't need to worry about them." Pauses. "Really, you don't. So what's on your mind?" What's on his mind is not what he planned to have on his mind at all. He hedges. He asks her,
He's getting okay. You're getting like this perverse enjoyment out of all this. Like, yes. Continue.
Yes. Yeah, I'm dying.
"Do you know anything about a new mob coming into my city? I have impeccable sources, but if you want to help the people of Bloodhaven, I can always use your insight. You have a way of knowing things." She
saunters over to the sofa, gesturing that he should join her. She pulls her legs up, then knees up, ankles crossed on the seat, leans over and says, Here's where I get to ask, what's in it for me? Sure, I want to help people, but a woman's got to broker herself a deal. That's how we keep things respectful around here." She lifts a glass tumbler and bottle of something clear with a fancy-looking label. She pours herself a glass of what smells like gin and one for him as well. As he sits down beside her, She passes it to him while wrapping an arm around his in one swift motion. She's lifting his arm up to toast for the both of them, saying, "To a new professional relationship," and gazing up beneath her dark lashes. Her words started like a proclamation, but her voice lilts up at the end, becoming a question mark. She'd been the one doing all the talking, and maybe it was really a question. Was he going to agree to share information with her? So he takes a sip. It's the good stuff, and he tells her so. He looks her over, her legs curled up like a cat on the side, next to him on the sofa. Her hair is in his space, and she smells like a fancy dry perfume. Androgynous. Is it sandalwood?
How did someone know what sandalwood smells like? No one goes, do I detect sandalwood? You are told that that's sandalwood.
It's Dick Grayson. He knows what sandalwood smells like.
Oh, yeah. Dick Grayson has a lot of detective skills, including identifying smells immediately.
No, I just imagine him in like the corner of a Bath and Body Works just furiously taking notes. That's sandalwood. Sir, will you please get out of here if you're not going to buy something? I'm Batman.
He's
They're like, costume. No, you're obviously, you're dressed as Batman. Get out.
But I'm Dick Grayson. That's not the point. Get out. All right, fine.
And they're like, point proven. Okay. He's not sure why he believes her claim to be in town on personal business, but he finds himself at a loss for what to say. If he has no retort, then what is the real reason he's in her loft drinking her good gin? He really doesn't have much of an excuse to be there at this point. He'd already sent her the message that, yes, he knows she's in Bloodhaven, but he doesn't want to leave, because this is fun. More fun than he'd imagined. But he isn't going to say that. That would be highly unprofessional. In an instant, she becomes alert, sniffs the air, asks, "Do you smell smoke?"
Oh, okay. So she can smell smoke, but he can't smell smoke, but he can detect sandalwood.
That's right.
Okay.
He's like, I have no idea if fire's happening, but I know the distinct smell of Bath and Body Works sandalwood candle happening.
That's right. While leaping from the couch to the window, talk about cat-like reflexes. She absolutely has them, and she's absolutely right. He sees a warehouse fire not far from her window.
I've got to help. We can catch up later,
he says on his way out the window. He may do an extra flip as he dives off the window, swinging out into the night. The way he flips when he dismounts a ledge has always been the tell that he shows he's Grayson and not Wayne in the Batman uniform.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like, you ever play Majora's Mask after playing Ocarina of Time?
Yes.
You know how when he jumps, occasionally he'll do a little flip?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they added that in just to make it, okay, this is an Ocarina of Time too.
Oh, really?
I'm not saying that I know. It's just like, that's one of those things that reeks of, we need to like, show you that this isn't, you're not in Hyrule anymore.
Oh, right, you're in Termina.
He's got flips and he's got moves like whatever the Hyrule version of Jagger is.
I literally can't think of who that would be. I mean,
the
king?
Okay, now okay,
moves like Impa?
I'm writing that down. Okay. Moves like Impa.
Okay, usually in the Batman suit, he suppresses his uniquely acrobatic moves to maintain the illusion of being the original Batman. But for Selina, he acrobatically flips out the window, which just happens to give her the perfect angle for viewing his glutes. Nice.
Hooray for butts.
Hey, everyone loves butts.
Everyone loves butts.
You got butts disease too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have butt disease? I mean, are you a human being?
You do make the same friend over and over.
Everyone loves butts, man.
If you are not a butt person, you're not a human being.
Exactly.
Literally, if you're attracted to another human being, you like butts. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
And he cannot lie.
Arriving at the fire, he senses he's being followed and glances back to see if it's Catwoman.
Hang on. I missed my place. Okay, found it. Continue.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
She had said she wanted to lay low, but with lives potentially in danger, she suited up to save the day.
Admirable.
He thinks as she catches up. I called the fire department anonymously, but I figured we may arrive sooner than they do, she explains. He smiles back to her as they land on an adjacent roof to scope out the fire and determine their next move. The warehouse actually looks boarded up, but there still could be people inside, which means there are lives elsewhere trapped inside.
Wait, which means without means to live elsewhere.
Without means to live elsewhere.
Trapped inside. That's a weird sentence. Gotta check for people.
he says, and she nods. They each crawl on the floor to avoid smoke. Hello? She calls. Anyone in here? He's about to crawl further in when he looks to his left, and it's an actual cat creeping out to him. He's a feral. Probably means there are no people living in here, she says. He hears the fire truck sirens so incredibly close. He can't see a thing inside anymore. The firemen break open the door, and suddenly there's water everywhere. Then there's a burst of that chemical foam they use to put out fires. It splatters all over him, almost like slapstick.
Womp womp.
Catwoman slips out an open window, feral cat in hand. Barely in hand, since it looks like it's trying to kill her. Can confirm.
Like feral cats try and kill you?
They do not like being handled.
Yeah. Well, Sophie didn't like me giving her flea medicine. I sent you the picture, right? Where there was like the scratch here and then one...
Yeah.
That looked like it was hidden by my chest hair, but it was in there.
Was it oral medication that you were giving her?
It was the thing you squirt between their shoulder blades.
And you still got scratched up?
No, because I was doing it as a team with my sister's boyfriend, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold her down. You just do it.
Less is more with cats.
Yeah, less is more. But he goes like he's trying to frost a cake or something. I'm like, just do it. And I'm trying to hold her still, and she's like getting more and more like out of it, and then just takes a big chunk out of my chest and runs off.
Less is more. I'll have to teach you some better cat restraint techniques after this.
Well, I mean, it was fine for the first half. It's just Brian took so freaking long. I'm like, just in between the shoulder blades and get on with it. He's like, I want to write my name. I'm like, not actually what he said, but that's what it felt like.
Do you have any pets currently?
So wait, I have a question about the cat. Catwoman seeing a cat and saying that there's no people in there. Was that how that story went?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that real? Is that how that works?
I mean, if there's a feral cat living in a building with no people, I guess maybe that there wouldn't.
Seems like a huge jump in logic. The building is burning down, and you just decided that there's no people in there because a cat walked out.
I found a single cat. Our work is done. Goodbye.
Yeah, I found a cat. I guess we're fine. That's it. I just wanted to point that out.
We saved one cat. Our work here is done. Also, the fire department arrived, I guess, to their credit.
Sure.
It's okay. Catwoman isn't supposed to be the world's greatest detective. It's Batman.
That's right.
Okay. The fire is under control. No people were inside the warehouse. Catwoman is gone. Everyone is safe, but he is entirely covered in chemicals he'd rather not be covered in. He doesn't feel like talking to the fire department. This may actually be the least destructive fire of all time. That's a beautiful thing in a city where tragedy is always right around the corner.
Why do people keep living in Gotham?
Excellent question.
It's different if they can't afford to leave. That's understandable. But the thing where like these like fancy businessmen fucking move somewhere else. I hear Metropolis has good real estate or whatever if we're gonna still be in the DC universe.
Well, Metropolis has Lex Luthor, so maybe they don't want to be under his thumb.
Okay.
So
and LA.
But there's an entire rest of the country.
That's true.
Gotham is obscenely full of villains. Yeah. We got Joker, and we have a man who has a crocodile. There's a lot going on in the weird New York City version. Yeah. I bet, I have to imagine that it works like actual New York City where people are like, I was born here and I'll never leave. It doesn't matter that there's a man who's a crocodile and a Joker person putting stuff in our water. I grew up in New York.
I just looked it up. So apparently Metropolis is in Delaware and Gotham is...
No,
Gotham is...
No, I refuse to accept that answer.
And Gotham is in New Jersey.
No! You are looking at information that just wants to make people upset. There's no way either of those places are in those places.
Wait, why don't you think they'd be in those places? Delaware
sucks! Metropolis is the city of the future and is in Delaware. Remember? Wayne's World? And they wind up in Delaware at some point? Yeah. Everyone feels about Delaware that same way.
I mean,
Delaware sucks.
Well, it was the first state, and then like that's all they have. Like they're like, we're the first state. I'm like, is there anything else to it? Nah, mate. Oh, man. There's nothing else.
That's the only thing that state has to live on is in a fictional world. Superman moved there for.
And they have Joe Biden, I guess, but that's not even a claim to fame anymore. Maybe about 10 years ago, but...
Well, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle Joe. Sorry, you're a weird old man.
I think maybe... I always thought of Metropolis more as like Seattle.
I always thought it was like near Chicago. I thought it was
That's
like a Midwest city.
Yeah, Chicago works too. Because Chicago would be close enough to like that like faceless farmland where like Clark Kent comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, because obviously Smallville's like in Iowa.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm shitting on so many places.
Oh, I thought it was Kansas.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Smallville. It is probably definitely in Kansas. I think they actually named that. That's true.
West Kansas. Ba-bam. There you go.
And I haven't seen any of like the new. I've seen clips from the new Harley Quinn like animated series, but other than that, like I haven't seen Smallville or Gotham.
I hear the Harley Quinn show is pretty good.
From the clips that I saw,
funny.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's like the Venture Brothers, but with
it is.
Dude, I'd watch the fuck out of that. I gotta get on that.
It's good.
It is good. Yeah, it's like that. So if you like the Venture Brothers and Harley Quinn, you're in.
Mm-hmm. And I do love...
Please tell me Patrick Warburton is in this Harley Quinn show. Please. Is he?
I don't think so.
Damn it. All right.
There's a lot of Poison Ivy, though, so if you like her as a character.
That's good.
I also really like their rendition of Catwoman.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
This Catwoman, on the other hand.
This Catwoman, I also really like their rendition of. Selina's place is also right around the corner, much closer than his own. He's soaked to the bone and covered in flame-retardant foam. It can't be good for his costume.
Oh, that was great prose right there. Much closer than his own, soaked to the bone and covered in flame-retardant foam.
Oh, yeah.
Good line right there.
That makes up for a lot of the
other
unfortunate lines that have led up to this.
Yes. So that's his excuse to swing back to Selina's. When he reaches her window, she's already inside. She's still in costume. The feral cat is gone, and she's looking at images on a small digital camera. I'm glad no one was hurt, but I'm wondering if the fire could have been set by landlords, insurance fraud, gentrification. Your city, not mine.
Call now.
Yeah. Just another commercial like inserts into this fic. So let me know if you want the incident photos I took. Dick is impressed.
Good call, Selina. I'll take you up on that offer.
Which one? She asks.
Both.
He says, smiling.
And I've got to wash this chemical foam off before it damages my gear. Mind if I...
Of course. Hop in my shower. I'll put some towels and a robe out for you. You'll probably want to wash that foam off yourself, too, you know. She smiles.
You ever had someone just come in the shower with you?
What?
Like you're with your significant other, and then you go to take a shower, and they just hop in the shower with you.
Okay, that's very different from like just some random person.
Oh yes, of course, that's very different. Very different. No, not a rando hopping in the shower with you, but like you're staying at your girlfriend or boyfriend's place or a significant other of choice, and
significant other of choice.
Yeah. Hey, there are bi people out there. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that, like, it's nice when they just kind of hop in the shower with you. Like, oh, hey, what's up?
I've never had that been, like, a random thing. I've been, like, in something where, like...
You decide to take a shower together?
Yeah,
like
and
that?
Honestly, it's usually been, like, for time-saving purposes.
Oh.
Usually when I do it, because it's just like, oh, we need to, like, get out of here fast. Let's take a shower, and then we can leave.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've done that, too, but it's nice, like, at the end of the day. And then you just... Why am I alone in this? This should not be something...
No, I'm not. You're not. I'm sitting here just like shaking my head, agreeing over and over.
All right.
I've had all variations of it. A random person whose house I'm staying at, who I didn't expect to show up in the shower, and then they're there. And then a talk about it situation. I've had the full spectrum, and it's all great.
Okay. See, now the random one reminds... There's an episode of Family Guy from like 15 years ago where Peter ends up on the Patriots, and then Tom Brady ends up showering at his house, and then Peter just gets in the shower with him.
What?
And he's like, hey, what's going on? Like, Peter, what are you doing in here? He's like, we're teammates. We shower together. And
of course,
that was kind of the justification for the weird. Not that I was in a football team.
Yeah.
But yes, somebody randomly showed up in the shower, suggesting that like we work together,
right?
Shower together. In this work shower. I'm not going to get into those details, but it was fine. It was fine.
I mean, if you keep drinking, maybe we can get it out of you.
Yeah.
What is that you're drinking right there?
Yeah. Good question. The very expensive organic Charles Shaw from Trader Joe's Rosé edition.
Ooh.
Nice.
I like how the logo is just impact font.
Yeah.
Shaw! Okay.
Yeah, it costs about $4, and by expensive, I mean not so much.
Yeah.
As long as it tastes good.
Yeah.
Tastes great.
I wish I was drunk.
I don't, because I have to drive home.
Me too.
I'm already home.
I know.
Lucky bastard.
Her bathroom loft is standard. Wait, this isn't her bathroom, though.
Her bathroom is loft standard.
Oh, her bathroom is loft standard. Okay, there we go. Spacious, industrial, perfect for washing off chemical foam.
Wait, is loft standard perfect for washing off chemical foam?
Evidently.
Is that what
In Gotham, it is.
Oh, okay, New Jersey. I'm going to look up the laws there.
Oh, man, I was actually looking at I don't remember why I was looking up apartments in Detroit, and, like, it really seems like they have, like, if your aesthetic is concrete lofts with, like, nothing except for, like, horrible views of a dead city, I think those showers are probably good for washing off chemical foam. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like you do.
See, Gotham I would see in Detroit.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Oh, in Michigan? Yeah, I could see it in Michigan. Somewhere along the Great Lakes, you know?
Yeah. Detroit, or... It just makes me think of the commercials where it's like Chicago, still not Detroit.
No, that's for Cleveland.
Oh, that's Cleveland. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry.
Fun times in Cleveland today. Cleveland.
All right. God, I lost my spot.
Washing off chemical foam. Perfect for washing off chemical foam. Okay. He jumps in the shower wearing his costume, washing with a chemical remover he keeps in his utility belt. He takes his suit off to dry and then gets back in the shower to soap himself up. He's getting hard and thinks about his options. Oh, finally, we're getting there. All right. He takes his cock down for the time being, or he talks his cock down for the time being, in the interest of being a good guest.
I love the idea you're talking your cock down to be a good guest. Oh,
hey, look,
man.
I know
That's
you
true.
like
That's
to slant to the left because I'm right-handed, but could you shut up, please?
Oh, man. I feel attacked. It's so real. It's good.
He grabs a towel that's large enough to not feel entirely inappropriate when he ties it around his waist, like a sarong, and throws on a robe to leave the bathroom. Selena is curled on the love seat, still dressed as Catwoman. She's sipping the rest of her glass of gin, which she turned into an iced cocktail while he was showering. She's looking up at him through her dark lashes. Thanks for the hospitality. Your towels are excellent. I know he's probably a normal voice by this point, but it's Batman's voice all the way. So, yeah. Your towels are excellent, he tells her.
Well, since you were the one who got caught in the fire retardant foam while I made my escape with a feral, it's the least I could do. And look at you, all grown up.
She trails off, all sex and intention in her voice. Okay, so this seduction isn't just in his head. She's eyeing him. He realizes the line between his pecs is quite visible with how the robe hangs, and she's staring right at his chest. He puts on a knowing pout and walks toward her love seat. You know, I've grown up for quite some time now. I've been grown up for quite some time now, Catwoman.
Yes, but you hadn't been Batman up until now.
She reaches up to him, pulling their bodies together as she cranes up to kiss him. Her lips are cold from the rocks in her glass as she makes her tongue long and teasing in his mouth. He slowly moves his hand around to her ass. It's firm and high and slick in her rubberized catsuit. Hooray for butts. She pulls back and looks up to his face to say,
You know, I don't usually sleep with men, but for Batman I make an exception.
She wants to sleep with him. Because he's Batman.
But
he's not.
In italics, that line is there.
Yeah, that's not me joking.
That's
in
right,
the story.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I want to talk to this person. I love them.
Story is great.
The thought makes all of his blood rush to his cock, which, if you're in a robe, I'm so sorry. He dives into her mouth to kiss her deeply. He's about to drop his robe when she says,
Let's do it with the suit on.
She wiggles her eyebrows like Betty Boop. It starts like a declarative sentence, ends with a question mark. He beams at her, his smile that says, anything you want. He walks over to his batsuit, starts peeling off his robe as slowly as an old-time burlesque performer.
Oh my god, yes.
But more male.
As if there weren't male burlesque performers. Come on, let's be real.
That's a line in the story. That's not me saying
Yes.
it's
Yeah, I
more
know.
male.
No,
Yeah.
this is great.
Then he drops his towel. She watches him hungrily. And damn, is she rubbing herself through her costume? His erection springs up against his stomach. You know, I was going to tell you that the suit was designed to dry faster while it's being worn, but under the circumstances, I don't think that matters. Just as slowly as he stripped, why did you make me take over at this point? He works himself back into his Batman
You
suit.
decided to.
Well, because you lost your place. He's...
Don't.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, it's frozen.
Wait, what? What did you say? You froze up.
I said don't stop.
Don't stop.
Okay.
He's been hard while wearing it before, frequently, but putting it on while he's hard. Now that's something new, which anybody who's tried to put on pants with a boner, not fun, is it? Sorry.
And these are like skin tight pants.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Now that's something new. So he leaves off the armored cup. As it is, his erection is trapped behind the utility belt, but that's where his condoms and lube are. He keeps
Yes.
condoms and lube in his utility belt.
Of course he does. He's
A question I've had for a lot of superheroes. So good. I'm glad it's answered. That's great.
There's probably a fifth grader somewhere with the condom in his wallet who's like, yeah, see, that's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. There you go.
Take over, please, before this gets too weird for me.
Be safe. Be safe, guys. That's why it's always in your utility belt.
Okay, that needs to go on the commercials where it's like a PSA, but he's like, all right, remember, kids.
Always keep condom and lube in your utility belt for safety. For safety and smoothness. All right, let's see. He walks towards her, putting on the cowl. So you can do his voice.
Oh, okay, wait. Putting on the cowl. Oh, so you like this, don't you?
She saunters to him, then leaps up, wraps her legs around his thigh, and rubs herself on him and moans quietly. Wait, around his thigh? So she's literally... Okay.
I'm not going to act it out with you.
No.
That's right. I got it here in my mind.
I'm not drawing a
yeah,
diagram.
you don't need to describe.
You can figure it out for yourself.
It's just confusing. I guess he's got really thick thighs then, and I can dig it. He is an acrobat. He moves around her so her pussy rubs against his erection through their costumes. He grabs her tight behind to lift her as he carries her towards the wall, thrusting. With her legs wrapped tightly around him, she lets go with her arms, her back arching like an acrobat on a trapeze as her crotch pivots up and her upper body bends upside down. He sees that the zipper on her catsuit works in both directions, because of course it does.
Of course it does, yes!
He takes the bottom zipper to pull it from its catch and unzips her to her pubic bone, watching as the pink skin of her pussy emerges from her tight suit. She is wet and lush.
He's biting his nails, audio listeners. He is fucking into it.
He needs to put something inside of her or he's going to lose his mind. He sucks on his gloved thumb and pushes it between her lips. Then around her clit and back inside her again. He can feel her muscles tensing.
Did he put the condom on at any point during this?
Not yet.
No, there's definitely just a lot of free organs happening right now, yeah.
Dude, come on. You mentioned it in your utility belt. At least take the time,
That's right.
I'm impressed with your flexibility.
He says.
But I don't think I can eat your pussy from this angle.
She arches herself back up, legs still wrapped around him, and she kisses his face. He feels her pussy hot and naked against his clothes. She lowers her impossibly long legs to the floor, and he drops to his knees, spreads her, and starts to lick.
You don't just start at the pussy. There's like a whole rigmarole around it, and you like.
They had different foreplay. They had superhero foreplay where they're like jumping around each other like acrobats.
Fine, that's how it's gonna be.
Where was I? He runs his tongue into her cleft a few times. He moves to suck on her outer lips, then he pulls them open with his fingers, and she moans. She is rubbing her breast through her costume, still zipped up top. She pulls off her hood and runs her fingers through her hair. It's as short as a boy's, but feminine as anything. He reaches up to unzip the top of her catsuit. He's been wondering what this would be like since he was first old enough to wonder about that kind of thing. Her skin is so creamy. Her breasts look impossibly high, small, firm, and pointed as a girl's, and incredibly real. He squeezes one gently, then firmly as she moans. He crooks his fingers inside her, first 2, then 3, and she's moaning louder as she starts coming around his hand. He's rubbing his face. How is he rubbing his face on her at the same time as he's... Oh, well.
You can do that.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's true. I didn't think about it like one on top of layered. Anyway.
There is a lot of rubber latex in the way, but yes, no, it's an excellent question, but yes, I agree.
We're neck deep in the crazy pool. Just own it.
That's right.
He's rubbing his face on her pussy, glad he shaved that morning. Thank you, Dick Grayson. His hand is stroking his dick gently as he can manage. He doesn't want to come yet. As soon as she grinds out her last tremor with a whoop, she reaches down.
Wait, with a whoop?
Yes.
Whoop!
Yeah.
Okay. That's how you come? Okay.
That's how Catwoman comes.
All right.
She reaches down, pulls back his hood, and asks, "Do you want to put your cock in me, or do you want me to suck you off first?" He stands up, pulls a condom out of his utility belt, there we go, and answers,
"There it is!"
"Pretty sure if you suck me, we won't get a chance to use the bat condom."
There's a bat condom?
Yes, 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 this writer is a fucking genius.
Yes.
I love this person.
This is bad reading more in that I'm going to have nightmares for the rest of my life. Not so much that the writing's bad.
I freaking love this. This is great.
A bat condom.
Specifically designed by Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck you. Like...
"Let's get on my bed," she says, sauntering away. She zipped down to her waist from the top and zipped open to her waist from the bottom. Her slick back catsuit corsets her in the middle. He follows her, taking off his top because he's too hot to bear it anymore. He's still Batman, even when he's only wearing his boots. She climbs onto her platform bed, lies down, and starts to rub her clit again. He sits on her bed. His erection is red hot against his stomach. "Your cock is perfect, just like his. Do you know that?" He shakes his head. Not about the perfect cock part. He's heard that enough times to believe it.
What?
Wait, I'm sorry. I do have a lot of questions. Is he saying that it's just like Batman's is the question that he's heard a lot, or...
He's heard, I don't know. I hope not. That means like...
Is that it's perfect, or it is like Batman's? Because that either way is problematic, for sure.
Yeah, what... Okay, how do you... I understand like a sort of thing where you get like an inferiority complex because you'll never be as good as this. But how do you bring up your cock will never be as good as this?
Yes.
I have an inferiority cockplex.
New terminology.
Yep.
This only happens if you take over for another superhero. He's shaking his head because he has no idea what Bruce's cock looks like when he's hard. He gulps because he doesn't want to admit that he's wondered. He feels dirty that he's wondered about the man that raised him, his dad that's not his dad, that was his idol, that was this avatar to the whole world.
Hey, you said this wasn't going to be as gross as the Incredibles episode. This is getting real close.
They're not really related, though.
Okay, still, it's like the step-sibling porn in that case, though. Then.
Kind of. But come on, Batman and Robin. Anyway, we're not going to go there. This god that died and came back, that is human yet unreachable. He's wondered about a lot of things. She starts to stroke him while he opens the condom. He tells her,
"Oh, contrary to popular belief, contrary to popular belief, I don't have sex with Bruce."
"That's a shame." She smiles. "He's magnificent, like you. But, bigger. You're prettier, though, and you give better head. I think you've got more experience." She smiles and ducks her head down to his cock and says, "Just a taste. I'm dying to know." She sucks him in, down to the bottom of his cock.
"Jesus,"
he moans. She bobs her head a few times. He pulls her head up and reminds her,
"If you keep doing that, I'm not going to be able to fuck you."
She laughs and lies back. He rolls on the condom, climbs on top of her, parts her lips, meaning only to graze her opening. She's so wet, she slides on him all the way. She lifts her hips, starts moving against his cock hard and fast. How can she do that underneath him when she's a fraction of his size? Of course she can, because she's Catwoman.
I'm guessing that's written in. You didn't come up with that commentary.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's
of course she
there.
can, because she's Catwoman.
I really need to see the full text of this. It's insane.
This will be. Well, we'll send it to you after this, but also for people who want to see it, it's in the show notes.
Yeah,
the story is always in the show notes for you to look at.
We'll link it below.
Yeah.
He starts to sit up, lifting her with him until she's sitting on his lap, fucking him hard. So this whole time, they're superheroes. She swirls herself around his cock. He lifts her up so he can watch his cock moving in and out of her. She's dripping wet from this angle. In this moment, his cock looks bigger than ever. She slips one of her Catwoman gloves on her right hand. She asks, "Can I mark you?" "Just a little cat scratch. That's how I fuck Bruce, you know." Her words go right to his cock. He nods. The glove has tiny claws on each finger. With her index finger, she slowly, gently scratches the letter B on his chest around his right nipple. Plenty of room to write a whole word. Or a name. Someone's name. He's not sure whose. He's burning to know. He's thrusting slower now. He needs to drag this out.
Ugh.
You wanna take over?
Sure. With her gloveless left hand, she reaches down behind him, her fingers ghosting over his hole. He wants her inside him so badly, but his lube is out of reach. The bat lube, I guess.
Yes.
And if she entered him there, he'd come too soon. He needs to last till he figures out what the fuck this is about. Okay. Aside from being the best fuck he's had in ages.
What should the next letter be?
She asks mischievously. He moans. He looks down at his chest. The B is red, but bloodless. She knows what she's doing. She does this with Bruce. Then, she draws a line up next to the letter B, so slow. But she's still thinking about what to write. Maybe she wants him to tell her what to write. Will it be an A, because he's Batman? Or, wait, because he's Batman? Is it an R, because he's Bruce's? Even when he's Batman, he's Bruce's. And he realizes that's as hot as she is. And he realizes that as hot as she is, as incredible as she is, this isn't fucking about Catwoman, the ultimate femme fatale. He's fucking her about Bruce.
There you go.
I think we should stop there.
roll credits.
Oh, right, roll credits.
Because they're fucking about Batman.
They're fucking about Batman. There's more to this story, which of course you can check out below. I can't tell if you're waving your fist or doing the hand job.
It's sort of a combination of both. Yeah. That's amazing. I love this idea that this young Robin dressed as Batman is questioning whether he wants to fuck Batman or Catwoman. There's so much. It just fills right into my fucked up childhood.
Into your
perfect.
hole, you might say?
Into my actual hole. Yeah. My mind hole.
I was going to say, how would you punch this up? But this is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
There's literally no ways to punch this up. This has everything. It has incest. It has weird costume play. It's everything.
Oh my God. I will get you back for this later. Somehow, some way, I will figure it out. But yeah, thanks again for coming on.
Where can people find you online?
Charles
that's
Matthew
a good question.
Lewis.
Charles Matthew Lewis. You can find me at Chachi Loves You on Instagram. You can find me on awesomegarbage.com and Awesome Garbage on Twitch shortly when we start doing our game shows. But you guys, thank you so much for having me on today. I am always happy to come on and talk about perverted sexual fantasies with characters. It's like my number one thing.
As you do. What's the game? The game show is like a Price is Right thing, or?
Yeah. So I originally had done a live game show in New Orleans called The Hump Connection. It was like the dating game, and me and my wife are putting together a game show called This or That, and it is sort of like a Price is Right, but using Craigslist, and that you're using like trades, etc., to come up with the answers. It's going to be really weird. But yes, we're finally kind of at the end of our preliminaries of figuring it out. But I'll be posting it on my gram and on awesomegarbage.com and a variety of other places. So yeah, I'll happily post about that.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a weird ass show. Can't wait to post it up.
And then you can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter and Instagram. Or you can, if you would like to help produce this show, you can check us out at patreon.com/badreadingpod. All of the Patreon tiers are named after tropes in fiction. your MacGuffins, your Deus Ex Machinas, and you'll get everything from a Discord server to helping vote on the story that we pick every week.
So you can have more of this or less of it, whichever you prefer. Why you would want less, I have no idea.
How about you?
And me, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, stolen_relic.
And this show at Bad Reading Pod in the same places. So thanks everybody for listening. And take this with you to your nightmares.
And wash your hands.
And have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks so much.